name is Lolade Ogunjimi, and this is Caking All the Way. I'm going to be taking you through how I make a spectacular 3D ice cream cone cake. You would absolutely love it. Let's get started. So, a gravity-defying cake is a cake that, well, defies gravity, meaning it's standing tall, not just standing tall. It looks awkward, like it's going to tilt and fall, but it keeps its balance. And and that happens because of the support system. So you cannot build a gravity-defying cake without having, like I have here, bolts, washers, nuts, and of course the threaded rod. I just needed like 9 inches of the rod. And the rod has to, first of all, pierce into the board. So you can put your nuts and your washer at the bottom part, and also just at the part that it connects with the board, if that makes any sense. Once the frame is ready and set, it's now time to place in my cone. And I had pre-drilled the cone. I had to use the same drill machine to drill the hole right through from one end to the other, because the cone had to go right into that rod. And once I do that, I secure that with a bit of hot wax. We don't want the cake, or at the end of the day, we don't want our cake shifting from side to side. And I did that with just a hot glue, hot gun glue, and that did the trick. And then don't be worried, for those of you thinking food safety, that portion of the cake will not be eaten at all. There will be a barrier between the cake and the styrofoam, because the cake is actually first laid on a cardboard, corrugated board actually, and that's very thick. And we like to use the corrugated board because it's strong and it's sturdy. You don't want the cake, and you don't want the cake, breaking on you. You need a nice foundation, so to speak, for the cake to rest, and rest carefully. I wanted a nice waffle look, and I had to use, it's called a diamond pattern. And then once you place that on your fondant, because the fondant is still very pliable, and then you smoothen that part out with a bit of pressure. Then you bring it up, and you can see the lovely crisscross, is it crisscross now? Yeah, crisscross pattern on the fondant. And then just to replicate that design, you go after the side or the portion that you want, you align it again, you make sure you align it, then you place it on another portion until you have as many parts of the fondant filled with the pattern that you want, which is what I did. And then when that's done, remember how to make a waffle? I just needed to make a nice round shape, and I used this board, a 10-inch board actually, to give me the circumference that I wanted. And once I cut that bit out, I was able to wrap it around the styrofoam. And then to give it a much more realistic look, I pleated it here and there. I opened it up a bit to make it look like a real waffle would look like, which is what I've done. And once I was satisfied with how it looked, it was time to give it a lot more So I was going for a very nice, playful ice cream cone look. So I wanted to do something that would bring that out on the overall, or kind of flow with the whole thing. So I decided to go for a nice black and white checkerboard, and I thought that gave the cake a very nice finish. And to do that, I just rolled my fondant in white and black, and I rolled it quite thin. And don't get tempted to roll one flatter than the other. Make sure that the white and the black fondant, when it's being rolled, is on the same level. So when you're placing, in patterns on the board, they all, at the end of the day, have the same smoothness when you run your hand through it. And so once I roll them and cut them all, I place them one after the other on the board until I'm done. And then I noticed some stains after I had finished doing all of this on the board. Some of the white had been stained with some black. And to clean that up, I just put a little bit of alcohol on my cotton wool and just gently, just a little bit, gently just clean the white spot. You clean the black spot rather off the white part of the fondant until it's totally clean. So you know, I had spent so much time and effort getting a very nice board surface, and I had to cover that up so that whatever painting I did not stain the board. So I had to use a cellophane wrap, nothing too busy. If you have tissue, you could use tissue, but I prefer to use a cellophane wrap because it's nylon. And then, you know, I wrap it round the entire surface of the cake board, gently and neatly. And with that, I get to paint and polish the waffle cone. I first tried out, you know, getting a nice pale, I think I was going for, well, I thought I wanted to go for a nice pale ivory color like what we normally see, but I wasn't very satisfied after I had gone round with the dust, with the brown dust. So I decided to go for a more dark waffle look. What I did was to add some dark brown gel paste. I added some yellow, I added some orange, and I mixed that all up with a little bit of alcohol. Okay, we don't use water to mix color on fondant because water and fondant are enemies. You don't want the water eating into the fondant. But we use alcohol because alcohol is a nice solvent and it evaporates into the air, so it's just perfect. So once I'm able to mix that all in together, and then I go around the entire waffle bit of the cake to give it a realistic look. And then I just go around the entire cake until I'm satisfied. And it's looking a bit glossy, but like I mentioned earlier on, because it's alcohol based, it will evaporate and it will give this nice dull waffly look that we're all used to. So after the painting right, it's now time to gently remove the cellophane wrap from the surface area, and as you can see, it made a world of difference. And then from there, it's now time to build my cake. So we baked the cake in 3 flavors: chocolate, strawberry, and mint. And as you know, chocolate brown, strawberry pink, and mint green. It was now time to carve. The thing about cake carving is just think about the real thing and how you can actually copy that to a T. And then what's an ice cream cone shape? It's like a dome that curves in, and to do that I had to bake the cake in a half ball shape and an 8-inch. And the 8-inch round is actually just 2 inches high. And then when I join that together, it's now time to give it a nice curve, which I do with my craft knife. And I just, you know, carve it all the way round until I'm satisfied with the shape it gives to me. And then it's time to crumb coat. So what is crumb coat? Crumb coat is also called dirty ice, or some other people call it the first layer. I just call it crumb coat. And what does this actually do? It's really just to sealing all the crumbs that you have on your cake. And then once you've done that, you wait a bit, or just, you know, speeding up that process, put it in your fridge for what, 10 minutes, so that the buttercream is set. So I was going for a very nice ice cream look, so I just used my spatula and I ran it through back and forth until I was satisfied. And then it was now time to place my entire cakes on top of one another on the frame that I had built. But before I do that, I made sure that I had pre-drilled each of the cake boards, or the cardboards rather, that had each of the cake sets. Why? Because I was going to kind of wear this on top of the rod that was sticking out, you know that portion. But before I did that, because of food safety, this is the portion that comes in contact with the cake. I had to use a bubble tea straw. I cut it to size and I seal that off with a bit of fondant so that if the rod could breathe, it will not breathe into my cake. if that makes any sense. Anyway, so I wear, yeah, it's called wear. And so after that, I wear the first layer, which is the strawberry cake, on the rod, and it's sitting really securely. That bit of styrofoam that is showing in front, I just used my buttercream and just swirled all the way around, so it gives the effect of an ice cream that is melting onto the cone. And I thought that was really nice, because I was really worried. After placing the strawberry cake onto the cone, I had to secure that bit with a dowel rod. I needed to stick out because I need the remaining 2 cakes to actually go through that rod as well, and that also goes to stability and structure. There has to be like a bone, you know, that would hold the cake together in place. And so I do that. I place the chocolate cake through that rod. Remember, there's a hole in the middle of that, so it's very easy for that to go through the cake. If not, there's just no way the cake will pass through that corrugated board. To give it a much more realistic look, and that's me just putting lovely swirls round the edge, all around. Just swirl, just do your hand like this. All right, round that cake. Okay, it was now time to place the mint cake, and I needed the mint cake to have like a very fun look. I needed it to look offset, so I pre-drilled the hole slightly on the sides and not in the middle like I did the other 2 layers. And you know, once I placed the cake from this portion, it really looked like it was going to slip off the cake, but you know, the dowel rod keeps it in place and gives you peace of mind too. So dowel rods are really, really important. And then once I do that as well, I give it a nice realistic look and do the nice lovely swirls again on the bottom edge. And finally, to just, you know, hold the whole structure together again, I put another dowel rod, and this is me, you know, knocking it right all the way in. I needed it to go in to sort of hold 1, 2, 3 layer of cake into the styrofoam, and this is not going anywhere. Totally secure, totally firm. You can shake, you can have your peace of mind, and that's really important. And then, yeah, that's it. The cake is done. Cake is done. The cake is done. And I'm done talking. Thank you for watching Caking All the Way. This is our maiden edition, and hope you liked it. It was done with a whole lot of love. A lot of love to my producer, to my crew, and to my staff. We had an awesome time shooting this, and a nerve-wracking time too, but it was all worth it. Anything to make you love me. Anything to make you love, you know, anything to show you how things are done. We all love to see how cakes are made, right? I do too. Anyway, make sure you subscribe to this channel. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you subscribe to this channel. Just am I angry? Okay. So make sure you subscribe to this channel. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you subscribe to this channel. Subscribe now.